Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at noon. I'm Alexandra Carter. Day 2 of Adam Fravel's jury trial is underway now in Mankato. Fravel is accused of killing his ex-girlfriend Madeline Kingsbury in March of last year. Today, Winona police investigator Sabata recalled interviewing Fravel after Kingsbury's disappearance. She noted scratches on his forehead and said he cooperated with the investigation. A BCA forensic scientist also took the stand, presenting video of the walkthrough at Fravel and Kingsbury's home. Our crew will be back in the courtroom this afternoon. We'll give you an update tonight on News 8 at 5, 6, and 10. A man involved in an Altoona homicide will spend over a decade behind bars. 28-year-old Kamani Golden has been sentenced to 11 years in prison, followed by 4 years of extended supervision. He was charged with felony murder and illegal firearm possession in the 2022 shooting death of Christopher Connor. Golden is the second of 4 defendants sentenced in this case. Earlier this week, Xavier Thompson received a 22-month prison sentence. The remaining co-defendants, Michael Purnell and Hamon Sullivan, will be sentenced in December. And the mother and boyfriend of 3-year-old Elijah Vu now facing new charges in the child's death. The Manitowoc District Attorney's Office announced yesterday Katrina Bauer, that's Vu's mother, is charged with chronic neglect of a child resulting in death, child neglect, and obstructing an officer. Her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, faces charges of physical abuse of a child and hiding a corpse, among others. Elijah Vu was reported missing on February 20th. He was found dead last month in a wooded area. Bauer and Vang have both been jailed since soon after he went missing.
Well, good afternoon to you. Breezy and warm conditions are expected today. We're going to get these winds up to 25 miles per hour and maybe plus in some locations, a little bit warmer as well getting into the next couple of days. Let's take a quick look at it as we get into it here, what's happening. Elevated fire weather going on over into the western portion of the Mississippi. In fact, we're going to be seeing this continue all the way to 7 o'clock today. In fact, that means that we're in just a weather watch and we're on deck to see if this really affects us. But you can take a look at the gusts that are going on right now, holding on to 24 miles per hour and so up to 28 miles per hour in some cases west of the Mississippi. And we're just getting underway as well, 18 to about 17 miles per hour. You're looking at some observed wind speeds for the sustained lower winds, and this continues on for the day out of the south. Current temperatures for you widespread in the 60s right about now, and we'll continue to get you into some of those 70s as we continue your afternoon. 24-hour temperature change is looking at least about 4 to about 6 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago. I'll look at your temperatures from 1 o'clock all the way into 7 p.m. Looks pretty sunny out there, and of course we're going to warm you up, and we'll continue to do that into the weekend. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of how this all plays out, and we'll look at some rainfall that may be in our way. Stick around.
All right, Art, we'll see you later. Thank you. Tonight, U.S. Senate candidates Tammy Baldwin and challenger Eric Hovde will square off in Madison for their first debate. That debate, hosted by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, features a panel of 10 journalists, including our own Allison Ferget. The debate starts at 7 p.m. You can tune in on our 8.2 channel, the News 8 Plus app, and on our website, news8000.com. With less than 3 weeks now to go until Election Day, the campaign rhetoric is heating up as both candidates focus on the battleground state of Michigan today. Nicole Skanga has more details from the White House.
Former President Donald Trump kicked off his day with a stop on Fox and Friends in New York.
I don't think she knows where she is. She's a low IQ person. She's not smart. Everyone knows that.
It was the same criticism he levied against Vice President Kamala Harris during the Al Smith charity dinner last night, where speakers traditionally trade gentle barbs.
We have someone in the White House who can barely talk. Is a person that has nothing going, no intelligence whatsoever, but enough about Kamala Harris.
Harris appeared at the dinner in a pre-recorded video. She was campaigning in Wisconsin, where she had her own laughs about Trump saying he was the father of IVF.
What does that even mean? He has no idea what he's talking about. When it comes to the health care of women in America.
Harris and Trump both hold rallies in the Detroit, Michigan area tonight at the same time. Early voting in that key battleground state kicks off tomorrow. Ahead of her rally, Harris will meet with auto industry union workers.
We must create good-paying jobs that are available to all Americans and not just those with college degrees. Okay?
She'll also get help on the campaign trail from former President Barack Obama, who is holding a rally in Tucson, Arizona tonight. A new CBS News poll in the state shows Trump with a slight edge over Harris. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, the White House.
Both former President Obama and the former First Lady Michelle are expected to campaign with Harris next week. The final DNR-sponsored Mill Tour for Forest Products Week just wrapped up at Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor. The tour showcases how Wisconsin's forest resources are transformed into products like treated railroad ties. This event caps off a week-long series of tours across Wisconsin, highlighting the forest products industry and how it contributes to everyday life, from the floors we walk on to the paper we write on. Coming up, are you feeling the squeeze on your credit cards? Well, you're not alone if so. A new survey revealing a startling trend in American spending habits. Find out who's most likely to max out their plastic and why it's happening now.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Pork spare ribs, $1.49 a pound. Bone-in pork shoulder roast, $1.48 a pound. And select pork chops, 99 cents. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this message.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
When I was 5, I began getting sexually abused by my stepfather, and he got me pregnant when I was 12. "64,000 pregnancies from rape have occurred in states with total abortion bans. And Trump did this. Women and girls need to have choices. With Kamala Harris, we do."
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
He thinks he's better than us. Derek Van Orden said, "I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman." So it's no surprise Derek Van Orden would cut Social Security and Medicare and give more tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. We earned those benefits with every paycheck, but Derek Van Orden thinks he's better than us. Don't let Derek Van Orden cut Social Security and Medicare. Your community PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. These special buy men's neoprene boots, $59.99 while supplies last. Hit the road with a fresh Blaine's Gold automotive battery starting at $114.99. And stay warm with Easy Heat fuel pellets, just $4.99. Gear up for the hunt and save at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Pork spare ribs, $1.49 a pound. Bone-in pork shoulder roast, $1.48 a pound. And select pork chops, 99 cents. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Welcome back. Americans are shopping and spending more. According to the Commerce Department, retail sales in the U.S. rose 0.4% last month over August, the third straight month of increases. The numbers exclude food and car sales, though. The National Retail Federation this week predicted sales would tick up even more in the next 2 months, forecasting a 2.5% to 3.5% jump this holiday season compared to last year. And a new survey from Bankrate found that 2 in 5 people said they have maxed out or have come close to maxing out a credit card since the Federal Reserve began raising interest rates 2 years ago. The finance company says those who are most likely to reach their spending limit include people with children under 18 years old, Gen Xers, and Americans earning less than $50,000 a year. And Lay's is once again calling on chip lovers to help choose its next big flavor. The snack giant has relaunched its Do Us a Flavor contest, giving one person a chance to win the $1 million grand prize and 2 runners-up $50,000 each for the winning flavors. Participants can submit up to 10 unique ideas a day from now through February 21st at dousaflavor.com. That wraps up your afternoon consumer news. As we head to break, here's a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Stay with us. More news is next.
Liberal Rebecca Cook. She's cooked up quite a story about herself. The truth? Cook is a slick political operative who pocketed almost $200 grand electing Democrat extremists. Cook supported radicals pushing open borders, defunding police, and ending cash bail. No wonder New York radical AOC is spending big money to elect phonies like Cook. Rebecca Cook. A liberal recipe for disaster. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We need real working people in Washington.
What a phony. Cook spent the last decade working as a political operative. Earned her money helping defund the police radicals like Mandela Barnes, the most anti-police candidate in Wisconsin history. Now, Cook won't let you protect your family. She wants to ban the most popular rifle in the country, earning an F from the NRA. Rebecca Cook, phony insider, dangerously liberal.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde has a problem with the truth. Time and again, his ads have been called false. He's a desperate candidate, willing to say anything. But here's what's true. Eric Hovde has a plan to slash Social Security 28%, Medicare 25%, veterans benefits 40%, all to spend $4 trillion on tax breaks for rich guys like himself. Eric Hovde's lying, and he's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
With Tammy Baldwin, we've gotten extreme policies that are hurting our families. Baldwin voted to let boys compete in girls' sports, and she co-sponsored a bill to force women to share locker rooms with biological men. Worse, Baldwin's bill would force domestic violence shelters to admit biological men, even though survivors say it would cause significant trauma for women in those shelters. Tammy Baldwin has endangered Wisconsin families. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome back. The number of children getting routine vaccinations is dropping as more parents are opting out, but that's also increasing the risk of preventable disease outbreaks. The CDC says this school year, as many as 7% of kindergartners aren't getting their recommended vaccines, an increase from 5% just 4 years ago. And as a result, there's an increased danger of outbreaks of measles and whooping cough. We're seeing that. Women who have social support, meanwhile, are more likely to stay up to date on critical cancer screenings. A study by the American Cancer Society found having emotional support from friends, family, or a spouse can have a big impact on whether or not women receive mammograms. Women who reported little or no support were 40% less likely to get regular mammograms. Those were some of the day's top health headlines. As we take a live look outside now from CityCam 8, Art is in next with a look at our weekend forecast.
I served in the United States Navy to protect and honor my country, so it makes me sick to know it. But our Congressman, Derek Van Orden, participated in January 6th, the deadly Capitol attack where 140 police officers were injured and 5 ultimately died. Van Orden was there. Then he lied about it until social media posts proved Van Orden was there. As rioters attacked it, he dishonored our country. Derek Van Orden doesn't belong in Congress.
VoteVets is responsible for the content of this advertising.
As a working mom, I'm feeling the pain of inflation. Everything costs more these days because of Biden and Kamala's wasteful spending. And while we pay more, they're giving away our hard-earned money to illegal immigrants. Tammy Baldwin is just as bad. Baldwin voted to give amnesty and taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. She even gave them government stimulus checks and free health care. We can't afford Tammy Baldwin and her handouts to illegal immigrants.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits? I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Here in Wisconsin, my patients trust me with their personal medical decisions and never ask, what does my congressman think? That doesn't stop Derek Van Orden. Van Orden calls himself 100% pro-life, compared abortion to genocide. And Van Orden said he opposed abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. Your personal medical decisions belong to you, not him. And Derek Van Orden doesn't belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time.
Well, good afternoon to you, and away we go. Taking a look here from earlier this morning. A nice little view of the moon, not much happening out there, and then you're going to get into it. You're going to see that kind of flying on by. A little bit of distance out there with some haze holding on to the area. Not to mention, we're also seeing some clear conditions out there right about now. Elevated fire danger for us today, but most of that is hanging over the western portion of the Mississippi there. You can see over there in the yellow, holding on to elevated fire weather conditions. And of course, they're going to be seeing winds from 35 to possibly 45 miles per hour. Here locally, we're just in a fire weather watch here, so nothing is showing up, but you can see how I have that outlined. You're going to be seeing the possibility of conditions to become at least up to 25 miles per hour, gusting in some cases today. And of course, fire danger, it's just all it needs is a spark. You can see that all the way from the interior portions of the Intermountain West all the way here locally, where you can see this continue to just jump up. Maybe it takes a lightning strike, it takes a wind gust or two, and that just kind of makes a big spark continue into a big blaze. We've got some abnormally dry conditions out there today. In fact, we're holding on to that for our areas for the drought conditions, and the drought is kind of holding on to us. Not much change is happening. It's trying to get some moisture on the ground well up to the northwest, but I tell you, a lot of that has drier air right underneath it, and that's not even making it to the ground. Your local dew points, though, are widespread in the 30s. Man, we are dry out there indeed. Hey, we get into current temperatures, though. Those 60s, as I just showed you a little while ago, not much change, but as you get it, there are the winds coming in from the south, coming off the Gulf of Mexico, moving into areas right by the Great Basin as well. This continues as the big ridge of high pressure continues to vault upwards going into Canada, but a lot of that also is placed right over us, and it's going to stall for a while, hang out with us for a while going into next week as well. So our local temperatures are going to continue to warm. In fact, we get into it right today. You're looking at, again, about 12 o'clock. You're holding on to a few clouds trying to sneak down to the south by Preston, but we're looking over to the northwest and continue to see that cloud cover fill in, getting toward the Mississippi. But the thing is, a lot of that, the rainfall is really not hitting the ground here locally. As I mentioned, it's trying to get to moderate rainfall. A lot of it stays over to the west of the Mississippi. And then we're also seeing these windy and breezy conditions today. You see those getting right up into the 20s, 25 to at least 22 to 26 miles per hour. Highs today will hold on to the 70s widespread, with an exception of a couple of 60s out there as well. And then tomorrow we're going to bump up the temperatures where everybody pretty much is going to be in the 70s. All right, that being said, warmer conditions for the outlook going all the way into next week as well, and that will continue to be above seasonal average. As far as rain is concerned, the best bet we have is pretty much going into Wednesday, all the way from the early morning into the afternoon, possibly, or to the, I should say, just before sunrise. We'll hold on to the afternoon eventually, and then it starts to kick out of the way. But that's how it all plays out. Not much in the way of rain. You can see as we go through the next few days, holding on to not much of the rainfall kind of getting into the picture here. And unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of rainfall. We'll take it right into the next few days, and away we go with 72 to 76 degrees, looking at 81 for Sunday. Yeah, that's right. We could get up to 81 degrees. And then as we go into the next few days, temperatures will continue to still hold on to those seasonal averages and above. We'll also see eventually that those cooler temperatures come in after midweek of next week. Get out and enjoy it if you can. Be safe out there.
All right, you raised it up to 81 now.
I did.
That is crazy. Yeah, some big dips there. All right, Art, thank you.
Sure.
And still to come, a heart-stopping rescue unfolds hundreds of feet above ground. See the moment first responders saved a life when we come back.
Liberal Rebecca Cook. She's cooked up quite a story about herself. The truth? Cook is a slick political operative who pocketed almost 200 grand electing Democrat extremists. Cook supported radicals pushing open borders, defunding police, and ending cash bail. No wonder New York radical AOC is spending big money to elect phonies like Cook. Rebecca Cook, a liberal recipe for disaster. Strategic Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Politics these days stinks. Too much hot air, and you know what else. But I'm no stranger to putting in a hard day's work and getting the job done. I have a history of bipartisan accomplishments. It's a hard job, but I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I can reach across the aisle and pass good bills just as easily as I can walk across the barnyard with my shovel. So whether it's doing chores on the farm or passing bills in Madison, I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm ready to get back to work for you.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Racist and offensive. Ryan Hipsch's social media history tells us who he really is. In one post, Hipsch said that he wanted a hat with the N-word embroidered on it. In another, Hipsch aims a rifle and comments that he can't wait to kill Muslims using a slur. Then wrote, LOL, that was racist. And that's just the beginning. Hipsch's social media posts are full of degrading terms for women and people with disabilities. Tell Ryan Hipsch that his agenda is too extreme for the Cooley region.
This is a cup of coffee. It's to go. Because here, you're on the move. Our team coordinates all your appointments, so you see all the experts you need quicker. Because when you're facing a complex condition, it feels like time is being taken from you. So, we found a way to give it back. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health. Remarkable.
Download the News 8000 app today. You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
First responders make a daring rescue hundreds of feet in the air. Patrick Cornell shows us the incredible body cam video, and take a look at this.
We'll get you down. Check out this first-person view as Sergeant Alex Eckstein climbs a radio tower to save a man stranded 250 feet in the air in Minnesota.
I've never experienced anything this physical or mentally draining.
Aerial video gives us a vivid picture of the danger involved in this exploit. With his partner, Chief Sam Seal, already at the top, Sergeant Eckstein slowly traverses the tower for nearly 30 minutes to get into position.
Unbelievable that person was able to hold on that long.
Then, the hard work, a high-angle rescue.
I put the patient harness on him.
And slowly, the pair helped rappel the man down the tall tower, getting him to safety on the ground where he was taken to the hospital.
We don't want to have to do it again, but we'll be prepared for it.
Wow, stay with us. We'll have one more check of your forecast when we come back.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More sofas, more recliners, more mattresses, more of everything. You're going to find whatever you want, and you're going to find plenty of it. And it's all priced to go with 0% easy payment plans available. And as always, free delivery. Just try that anywhere else. Come visit us today.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity.
Harris will lower the cost of living and cut taxes for middle-class families.
Because I strongly believe when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
Kamala Harris for president. The United Associations Union Plumbers and Pipefitters Vote PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Have you heard Eric Hovde?
I am
totally opposed to abortion.
I am totally opposed to politicians telling women what we can do.
Extremists all over the country have passed abortion bans.
Criminal penalties for doctors.
No exceptions for rape or incest.
Women are dying just trying to get health care.
There are even restrictions in Wisconsin. This has to stop.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We are totally opposed to Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Liberal Rebecca Cook. She's cooked up quite a story about herself. The truth? Cook is a slick political operative who pocketed almost 200 grand electing Democrat extremists. Cook supported radicals pushing open borders, defunding police, and ending cash bail. No wonder New York radical AOC is spending big money to elect phonies like Cook. Rebecca Cook, a liberal recipe for disaster. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Friday Night Frenzy, tonight at 10.
Well, we have elevated fire danger today, breezy and gusty winds, and then once we get into tomorrow, it'll all change. We'll get back into conditions that'll be just like this, looking at 70s and 80s on the way. And of course, limited amounts of rainfall, dry conditions will ensue. You're looking at your temperatures across the board for the weekend, warming up and then cooling on down next week.
All right, looks like a great weekend. Thank you, Art. Thank you for joining us. See you back